can't believe that it's already 2025. And before anything else, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has stayed or like supported. I know I'm not really as active as I wanted to be on YouTube, and I think I only started posting a lot more during the last quarter of the year 2024, and it's kind of intimidating at first to put these videos out, but then at some point I kind of enjoyed the interaction between people, and it's very different when your interaction is behind the screen as opposed to having an actual conversation with the person, but also that there aren't much people around me that would appreciate planners, papers, pens, our usual stationery stuff. So it's been uh it's kind of, well, it is still intimidating, but I also enjoy most of it, and which is why for 2025 I want to keep trying, or at least continue creating more content for everybody, because, well, I enjoy it. I just hope you enjoy it too. And let's start the year with the Techo Kaigi 2025. It might be a little late than most, but I really like it better when I have stuff written in the books that I plan to use. And it just gives a little more idea. It gives it a little more concrete idea on what's going to be happening for the year and how I'm going to use it. And maybe throughout the video, I could go in detail what's in it and maybe reasons why I chose it. But if this is something that sounds interesting, thank you. And let's do this. It's not a very complex setup. It's just these are my planners and these are the journals. The journals are a little more concise than usual, so I also have like a perpetual journal, and I'm not sure if this is going to be a perpetual journal either, but we'll see. And let's just do this. Using the traveler's notebook since 2014 or 15, I never quite got exactly when I started, but this has been a system that has always worked for me. I like how small and how simple it is. I have tried other systems, but there's really something about the Traveler's Notebook that has been very efficient for me. Now, I think this is the first time I'm going to be really starting off with using two planners. Do I need it? Maybe yes. Do you need it? Maybe not really, because we only just need one, maybe? It doesn't necessarily have to follow, but I am right now in that state that if it makes me happy, I'll do it. And I don't believe that I have to follow a certain standard because everyone else does it. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so I have the passport size and I have the regular size, and these help me manage stress better more than anything. And I'll get into each and everything. If it sounds redundant, I apologize, but it really helps me and it works for me because, in any case, the passport is going to be going with me in my bag almost every day. This may or may not, go with me where I am, but definitely this is going to be a lot more detailed than this is. And yeah, I kind of like having that idea of writing because writing helps me relax when I am overwhelmed by everything, but that's probably just me. I zoomed in a bit so you can see how things are written and how everything is organized, at least how I think it is in my head. I think it might be better if I show you first how okay. The first thing I really write down are future plans or plans that I know that will affect the car or my dad's schedule. So if you see it here, like since this is February, you know that my dad is attending a wedding on the 15th. So I know I don't have a car that day. And for January, he has plans. He has dinner plans on the 11th. And I know I don't have a car again. So I know that all the other weekends are free. And that's something I need to be sure that my dad has a driver and has a car. Keeping track of bills is very important to me. So what I do is that as soon as I get a billing notice, I immediately write down when it is due. So you have these credit card bills here, and I just leave a space for paid so I can log down when I was able to pay for it. And when I see it, I won't be panicking if it's something that I paid for or haven't yet, because obviously it's just if I just leave it as like a bill due, I will have to start thinking or I have to look back if I paid for it rather than just writing it down that paid bill and there's no date. I used to have that planning mentality until I got more than one credit card, and it was a little confusing what I paid, when it was due, and it ended up like a mess in my head and I couldn't figure out which one is which. So I would rather that I have written down when the card was due and I could just insert when I paid and what I paid for. Like there are some times that I do payments in advance. When I do payments in advance because I don't want to be bothered by it, or I know that I spent quite a substantial amount like what I have here. I knew that my ticket for Tokyo was going to be charged this month and I wanted it out in my head already, so I prepaid it already, and that's why I have a little side note right here. Now you're going to notice that there are like circles on my monthlies. These are stickers that I use and these are from Hand Paper Crafts by Anyang. I'm trying to look for a sheet. This is what I use right here. So it's this sheet and these stickers signify that I have to be at the office because luckily we're still doing a hybrid thing that some are working from home, some are in the office, and it helps me see what dates I have to be at the office without even having to write it. This initially started because the monthlies have a smaller space and writing it down took space for the things that I needed reminding for. I mean, some days you don't have anything, but there are some days that it's just gonna take up. But I have to go to work when you can just have a sticker on it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sticker. You can also use 'cause I got this pen. This is called the Join Dots from Midori. It's purple, blue, and green. I initially wanted to use this too, but I might have to repurpose it. It's gonna appear like a dot anyway, so it's gonna be helpful if you just like mark it and stuff. But that's the whole idea. Very similar to the sticker. Now, what else do I have here? So plans. It's really more of an overview of what I did for the month. And oh yeah, I also have here like if I have posted on social media or YouTube, Instagram, things like that. I do not have a separate planner for things because I think I'm lucky enough that my job is not doesn't change as much like for schedules other than the days that I have to be at work. It's very routinary and there's nothing that I have to keep track so much, which maybe that's why it doesn't look as crowded as it really is supposed to be. Because if it just repeats, I don't really have a reason to keep writing about it anyway. What else am I? Oh, I have a period tracker. Oh, what else do I do? I think that's basically it. Fund transfers, lunches, things like that. Very basic, very just like an overview of what needs to get done, what was done. Now, this since this is all like a finished month view already, this is actually how bare everything starts. The nice part about starting this at the beginning of the month is that you can actually see how things are pre-planned, or like if I knew that things were already going to happen, I can already list them down. And in case anyone is interested, the things that I wrote down here are like predictions for the Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is on the 29th, and I am Year of the Rat. And there are certain predictions for every month, which I know, well, it's not really a hard and fast rule to follow, but it's a pretty good guide on like what to expect maybe. I don't follow it to like the core, but I like the health part. Like maybe I need to check up on this, or elder people are going to be that. So I just wrote down a few things that would, just like a guide on what's going to happen for the year. And I wrote these down already for the entire year. So I have little snippets right there. And there are months that say that it's not really a good idea for investments, or that it's not a good day to travel. Well, month to travel. Very basic things like that. There are a few general ideas in there, but again, it's not like I'm going to use this to rule my life, but it's nice just being able to read it. I also had this in my previous journal, never in my planner really. I used to have this on my previous journal, and some were kind of right, which made me believe a little more of it, especially like breakups and stuff. But it was just really funny that it's not something I really look to when the day starts anyway. But it's so funny to read back and you're like, oh yeah, we broke up in September. Like, yeah, that thing happened, and which is really funny because yeah. Anyway, uh, so I have that throughout the Lunar New Year, and let's see how precise this is going to be again. But so far, in terms of characteristics, my personal characteristics, it kind of holds true. Like most of the descriptions, and it's kind of fun to just have this. Pages are a lot thinner in this take a note planner. If you compare it to the books, those are a little thicker. And so if you're worried that you might have creases in this, there's a bigger chance and probability that it will crease. And oh yeah, before I forget, I also put families' birthdays on here, family and friends' birthday on here. And at first, I really didn't need to put it because for some reason I always know when my friends' birthdays are, but I just wanted to put it. I really don't know why, because I think someone asked me. So I ended up putting it anyway. And there. That is how the year starts in my monthly insert. Now this extends until January, March, I believe. Oh, see, I just creased it. Until March. So anyway, I have started using it already. And though it's not fully filled out for the week, obviously, because I'm shooting this today is the second of the year. It's the 2nd of January. And I felt that all the books had enough content for me to explain how I'm going to be using it for the year. Now, these triangle stickers, these corner stickers, are also from handmade paper crafts by Anyang. And these signify that I have to go to work, which is, I know it's the same thing here on the start, but again, one of the things is just I like it that it's here and it's effective for my brain and it works. Although I did write that I have office duty on those days, I don't know, but there's really something comforting about writing that I really don't mind if I do have to repeat myself. I mean, maybe when I talk, I'm not really that fun or happy about having to repeat myself. But writing, it just makes things better for me. It relaxes me, and yeah. So how I set this up is, oh, I haven't like fully. I think I have divided it into columns, into two columns until Feb. Yeah, until Feb. Now I still follow my previous setup, my previous layout in the traveler's notebook, that on the left side it has future plans on where I have to be, where my dad has to be, or where the car has to be. And then on the right side it's a list, well, it's stuff that I was able to do or stuff that I needed to do. Now the difference is that you're gonna see it here on the 2nd and the 3rd of January. Hang on. So in terms of future planning, I just have everything up here on what I need to do. And for the present day, I usually just write it down like a line after it. I don't have to skip necessarily a line, but I wrote down the things that I did for the day. So I knew that today I had to have my pants and skirt cut shorter, because I'm short. So I knew that beforehand. And I was able to finally purchase yen for my trip. I transferred money to my dad and I transferred money to my brother for, conversion of gifts anyway. But yeah, so I just list everything down there, and for future reference or for future plans, like for tomorrow, this is what I have to do, and I'll just immediately write down below. Doesn't really matter to me because I already know or it's already done. There are also days at work that there are specific stuff to get done. Like I know on the 7th I have an accounts review meeting, and then on the 10th it's the kickoff for 2025. So we're going to be discussing plans, strategies, and mainly just a view or a vision of what is to be expected on 2025. Here, I know that you saw that on the 11th, my dad has an event to be at. Now, I get a little more detailed here because he has a dinner at Corinthians because my aunt and uncle are, yeah, they're celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, I think. Yeah, I think it's the 50th, but basically that's how it's done. Now, future planning, I have like on Wednesday, on the 15th, I need to bring my uncle and aunt to the airport. So, yeah, things like that. And I don't think I have more future plans ahead. Yeah, but you get the idea that as soon as I know of a plan, I immediately write it down because sometimes it's hard to coordinate my plans and my dad's plans. And I always want to make sure he has a car and a driver. I could drive too, but that's another, that's another issue. But yeah, so that's why I like having my dad's plans in my planner. Now, the nice thing is that this goes all the way until December, and I'm kind of excited to see this get chunky. Well, I don't think I'll be using much stickers anyway, but I will definitely incorporate more stamps because I use the Sachihata stamps and it doesn't seem to bleed. It will ghost, which is fine. I don't know if it's just me, but I like it when it ghosts. I don't know, I feel so accomplished or like, I don't know, I'm weird. But even the stamps, they don't bleed. Bleeding is bad, ghosting is fine. I mean, it's the only time ghosting is fine, but I'm going to put this back later. So I have that. This is what I will put. I'll be changing this every 2 weeks because the spread already gives you 2 weeks in a glance. And it works for me that way. So there. Now, it does come with a few blank grid note pages at the back, and I have tried to fill them out with little details that I want to keep track of. I like keeping track of my stationery spending, or, well, not necessarily spending, but anything stationery related, or at least keep an inventory of what I have. So, what I did here was that I used to have a Sailor Pro Gear in the Fika, and initially I wanted to use like a different ink for the monthlies and a different ink for the weeklies. But I know everything's going to be in green because I wanted to stay consistent that way. Because I mean, I was flipping through my old planners and the colors kept changing. I don't know if I'm getting old, but I didn't like it at all. Not that I would normally refer to my old planners for anything, because if anything, I have thrown away everything prior to 2021. And I only started keeping them, yeah, in 2021, which is, I think that's when I realized I don't want to keep using different kinds of ink, even colors of ink. So I think I've destashed a couple of bottles of ink, and I have retained green inks, really. So if and when I do purchase new inks, I have it written down here. So I know it's just a quick guide of what I have, and per brand maybe, because I only normally I would only have Ferris Wheel Press, Robert Oster, Wearing Yule, a bit of Sailor really, but I am not like closing it off to not trying new inks. But those are what I have, and those what I normally purchase anyway. So I want to have that there. And then here I have restaurants and places we ate at. This might be a little more challenging when I go to Tokyo and when I go back to Canada, but I really do want to have like this written down. It really helps because if and when I have plans with other friends, I can easily look at those restaurants and suggest like, "Oh, we ate here. This was good," or like, "The food here was good." It just helps like that. Now there are other things here like, oh, things I should not have bought, but here we are. This is not really a regret list. It's more on you should have behaved and known better, but here we are. So, I got a new game for my Nintendo Switch. I got new sneakers. I got this Air Max in dark green. I've wanted it for quite some time now, and then it went on sale, and I knew it was meant to be mine. So I also have a lost list for 2025, and this includes anything and everything that I want, but not necessarily need. I, well, it's not a lost list anymore because I already ordered my MacBook Air. And yeah, so I saved up for this. I saved up for this, and when the exchange rate was good, I ordered it, and we'll see what's going to happen. I also want and considering a Canon selfie, but I don't necessarily need it because I do have a printer anyway. Next, this is the stationery inventory and the lifestyle inventory. I There are certain designs or brands that I really am drawn towards, and this is what I have. So it helps me to keep track or also to behave. Let's say I know I have like a certain bag that looks like something that I saw online already, and I try to say no to it, especially if it's in the same color. That's how I try to behave, and I'm not promoting like shopping or consumerism, but I do work hard, and there are times that I just want to enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I just want to enjoy it. So there are things that I still like, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get them. It doesn't necessarily follow if I'm going to get them, but I have that here. And then here are more on my books. I do not have physical books. I do not have much physical books because the dust is just insane. It's not something I want to deal with on a daily basis. So I do have a Kindle, and that's where I read most of the time. Well, I think almost all the time. So anyway, I have a Kindle, and I have stuff that I want to read, which I should have written down by now, and stuff that I need to finish, or like I've finished already. But I think that's that for my planner. I have this here at the back too. So what? inks are currently fed in my pens, so that helps a bit. I also have this comparison because I haven't not been buying pens, and this is the I just took the opportunity that I had a Lamian extra fine that hasn't been ground to extra extra fine. I had a Sailor and I had a Twisby, so I did a writing swatch on them. Let me zoom in for you. I did a writing swatch for them just in case anyone would be asking, or at least now that I have it on video or on photo, I can easily, show a reference photo for it. But that's how it's gonna look like. And in terms of like how ink holds on the take a note, it's pretty good because I have this ink swatch and at the back it's fine. And that's why I'm very happy with this insert. Now, I should talk about the front too. One of the nice things about the take a note is that it comes with a cover already, and so I get to decorate this a little more. Now, these two picture cards are from the Ars planner, and it felt right to put this here. But also at the back, I have my old boarding pass from Vancouver to Calgary, and I stuck a photo of me in the Calgary airport. I know that I have pictures. I know that there are a lot of pictures of me in my vision board that I was in Canada because it really just holds a important or special place in my life, in my head, that I want to remember how peaceful it felt when I was there. And maybe that's why I want to surround myself with things that remind me of my stay in Calgary and Canada with my brother. And yeah, that, that's basically it. Hmm. I usually have a band that keeps this together, but I just took it out for now. This I'm not really sure if I can or I will continue having this inside my traveler's notebook. But this is an insert from GU. It's from Baumkuchen. It is a craft insert but dotted. Ever since I got my passport back to my name, I knew I was gonna travel, and not just a journal wise and kind of sense. I wanted to have this filled with travel. So I might back journal, back write, back post, I don't know what to call it, but I might include my 2024 Hong Kong in here. And yeah, it's not going to be like a journal, but mostly maybe a photo journal. I don't know how to describe it yet, but maybe at some point when I figure out what I'm going to do with this, I can share it with you if you're interested in it. But definitely, it's going to be like a perpetual insert, and that's why I'm glad that the Take a Note has a plastic thing because I also have a few there in my stash that I still have. But anyway, I got the plastic cover, so I get to put this, and yeah, I'm excited to use this and fill it with pictures that I want. These are some of the things that I use to keep tracking stuff easier and faster for me. This is from Crafts Delight, and the rest really are from Hand Paper Crafts by Anyang, which is very useful when you have small space to write on. So I have travel, I have market and groceries for errands that I do, and I just put them here because when I plan, that's just really all I need to keep track of. I don't think that it's very complicated for me. I just like things simple and handy or, accessible mostly. So that's what I have for my regular size traveler's notebook. And this is what I intend to keep using for a long time. Though this might just stay on my desk, but it can also be something that I bring around depending on what bag I have too. But is it going to be with me when I travel to Tokyo? Most definitely it will be. I started using the passport size when last year I really couldn't find a way to make the standard size work for me because my handwriting is so small that I felt like I was wasting space on the weekly memo grid that I use. And I ended up with the passport, which still kind of had space when I did use it, but I like it too. So I'm not sure if I just do this for fun now, but really I enjoy it anyway. And if you are looking to use the passport size as a planner, you can really make it work. And this is how it looks like for me. I'm not really sure again how I'm going to use this because it's too small to be a cash flow. So I really don't know how I'm going to use that. But this is again a December spread that is done. I might decorate it because I want this to look a little more fun. And you're going to see that it still has the dot stickers that show when I have to be at the office. And this is how it looks bare. Again, it's not filled with plans yet, or it's not yet filled with stuff that happened, but it gives you a pretty good overview on what's going to be happening for the next few days. Again, future plans are all written down. I don't have birthdays here. So those. I also have these holiday stickers. These are also from handmade paper crafts by Anyan, and I already put these in just for a guide, which helps me. And yeah, that's how bare and basic this is. So I really might add up like stickers and stuff just to make it a little more fun. But I don't know. I think I just got old that I just wanted it to look concise. I don't know. We'll see. And then I also have the dated insert. I still don't know what to put here, honestly. And I feel like the passport run through is going to be so short, mainly because there's nothing new in it compared to what I already am using on the regular standard size. Again, I love how this just works for me, having things divided into columns of places I need to be at and things I've done and things I need to do. It has been working for me really well for the past year, and I don't intend on changing it anytime soon. Also, these things, oh, I didn't anymore put that stickers for work. I just write them down because, again, this is more like something for fun and playing. This is me playing around because I really enjoy writing, even though at times I don't have much to write about. So I like having this for fun. I believe I've already drawn a line on throughout the 6 months. Yeah, I did. But that's how quick and short the passport run through is. Yeah, is. Oh, by the way, all my inserts are punched. I rounded everyone's corners by now, and you're gonna see that all my books have rounded corners as well, except for the PAL planner. The PAL planner already came in with round edges, corners. It's not a corner if it's round, right? But they're all corner punched there, and I like it like that. So I don't know if you've noticed, but even these inserts have their corners punched, and it really came in like the normal corner thing size. But yeah, I did it on all pages, and now it's a corner punched insert. And basically, that's that for the planners. It's really nothing, as I mentioned, it's not really complex, it's not complicated, it's not like there's so much to it. For me, it's just supposed to make things life easier for me. It's nothing complicated, it's nothing groundbreakingly amazing, but if things are if things in my head are already a mess, I need like order even on paper just for me to calm down, and it helps. So this is my planner setup for 2025. Now we're going to be talking about journals, and I have three that I had decided to keep, and The these two here might be perpetual journals, meaning it doesn't have to end by the year, and I want to keep continually using it. I knew before the year started that I would be traveling again often, and I also wanted my journal with me when I travel because I will eventually be sticking stuff in it. But I also knew that the A6 wouldn't be enough. And if and when I did use an A6, it's going to get a lot chunkier because there are going to be a lot more inserts concentrated in a small space rather than it being spread out. I also knew I couldn't work with an A5 as a journal if I was going to be traveling because it's going to be too big to lug around. And which is why I ended up with the PAL planner in the B6 size. I have used the PAL planner before, which is why I knew or I already had an idea that it was going to work out for me. And I did already an unboxing and a quick first impressions on it, but I love it. I really enjoy it. And now I can like show you exactly how I use it because there's stuff in it already and it's going to make more sense when for this Techo Kaigi. Again, I have the vision board, and this is really for me to stay motivated at most of the time because these are photos of me in Canada. And I think I've mentioned it before, but it's really a reminder of that peaceful feeling that when I was there, and it keeps me motivated and stuff like that. I know it probably does not make sense to most people, but I like the peace and quiet that I experienced there, and which is why I like coming back to where my brother is. I'm initially I thought I would use this as a cash flow, but we'll see because I still haven't done anything for it yet. The nice part that this is filled out is that it's going to make more sense when I explain it. So these are not work related plans. These are all personal, like fun stuff. Because if it was work stuff, it wouldn't be fun. So these are personal plans that I have. And I have here a photo or a collage of what December was like. And I might continue doing that because I'll show you how January looks like blank. This is how it really looks like. And there's nothing really in here that I want to use or put as plans because I am using this as a journal. And so this is how I intend to fill it with. I like photos. I take a lot of photos, rarely of me, but I had a good friend say that why don't you post your photos? Why don't you share your photos on your journal? It's yours anyway. And it's not like, it's just for fun. So I have here mostly family because that was what December was. It was nice to have my cousin fly from LA because we haven't seen her in quite some time. I mean, I did hang out with her when I was in Canada, but then she only stayed for a week. And that's why when she was here in Manila, I made sure that we took photos as much as I like. Now, this is a week, it's a weekly spread, really. I cannot have or I cannot work with a day in a page journal. I find it difficult to fill like personally because if you can see my handwriting is really small, so it's going to take a while to fill, and I would feel really sad if I don't get to utilize it as much as I want to. So there is really no format behind this journal. It's really just what happened in the day or what I want to keep as a remembrance of that day. So my aunts were here. I had an audiobook. I finished an audiobook. Really, it's nothing out of the ordinary. I just want to write and relax. So, more things. There are times that I have like music blasting and it's on repeat, like I'm a crazy person. I don't know. I just liked it. Oh, I think because it was that week when Spotify came out with your summary of the year. It's like a wrap up or something. on how many minutes I've spent on Spotify, and like, oh yeah, and these are my who hurt my Spotify playlist when things got rough last September. Music kind of helps. I don't know if it's just me, but I'd like blast music. And what I miss the most about driving alone is that I can sing in the car and no one would really care because I do. I mean, I can sing. It's just really horrible, but I don't want to subject anyone else to hearing it. But since I have a driver, I kind of just keep quiet, which kind of takes out that feeling of, singing your heart out when you're crying. But anyway, that's another thing. So, oh, this was a sticker from Christmas gift packaging that I got. And it's one of those weird monkey looking animal things. It's whatever. And my friend gave it to me, so I just stuck the sticker there. And the reason why there's a stitch here is because my cousin, she had an operation and like surgery and stitches and all that. And this is my friend. He calls me Lola because Lola in English, because Lola is a Tagalog term. In English, it's grandma because I sleep early, I wake up early, I am grouchy, and I like quiet. And I'm the type who lowers the volume so I can see better. It's not supposed to make sense, but that's how I am. And he calls me Lola. So all of a sudden, it's now Lola and Stitch. I mean, it's just a cousin thing, but that's how we do it now. And then I got sick here. Yeah, I remember getting sick, so I hated it so badly. And what else? Oh, this is such a funny experience because these two girls are my nieces, and there was a blind box thing in Miniso. There were some Sanrio stuff. I couldn't remember exactly what they were, but it was the black and purple thing and the cinnamon something, cinnamon roll, whatever. So I asked them to get two each. And the sad part, well, the funny part was that we weren't going to be together anytime soon, but we wanted to open the thing all at the same time. And I also got mine, of course, but mine was Harry Potter. So since my dad and my brother was shopping in Uniqlo, I had my camera out and we were filming and unboxing. And hang on, let me get what I got in that Harry Potter thing. This is what I got during the blind box. These are little Harry Potter glass topper things. I don't know how to. Hang on. So I believe it's meant to be like that. So when you use your cups, it's gonna be marked like that. I just don't want it to fall in because I'm holding it, but knowing my chances, it's gonna fall in. But yeah, that's how it looks like when there. See, it's kind of cute actually, but I've never really used it that way. It's actually on top of my monitor, and it's like Harry and Hermione peeking at me while I work. So yeah, that's what I got in the blind box thing. This, oh, what happened here? Yeah, so we had a family reunion again, and oh, and this was Ava and her mom's birthday, and we had like a Paris theme thing. I'm not sure what, but it was funny because they didn't tell me about the theme, but I came in black anyway, and it was like black, white, and red. Well, it kind of fit too, though, so we have that. I think I was feeling really down, or I don't know, overwhelmed at some point that I have this cute little stamp, like just not enjoying her day. And this was last week spread. I haven't finished it yet. So I mean, there are times that I just like to backfill all of it, but I really do like writing. It's more of therapeutic for me, and I don't find the need to rush things that everything has to be like filled out completely or posted on social media. There are times that I suddenly disappear on social media, which is not really a big deal for me because I share what feels nice to share, maybe. But that is also a quick flip through on December's pages. I don't normally pre decorate anything anyway. So for January, it's just the work schedule because I still want to know, like in any book, I know when I'm supposed to be at work. And then this was the Christmas, this is the week of Christmas. Oh, sorry. This is the week of the new year. And I had this written down because finally the iPad I got for my dad arrived. It took so long, surprisingly, because shipping would normally take just like 2 or less than 3 weeks, but this took like an entire month to get here. But I am extra happy for this because you know how dads are like always providing, always making sure that you're all right and stuff like that. And I think that has been my dad for the past years. And it's I feel really happy that I get to spoil him once in a while. I mean, I believe he would have gotten mad if like it was supposed to be a real surprise, but if I got that iPad and he would have gotten really angry because he'll say that I don't save enough money. So what I did also before, like 2 Christmases ago, he asked, well, not exactly Christmas, but it was around December, November. So he asked if I could buy a charger for him. So I did buy a charger. Well, it's just that when I got home, I told him that the charger came with a new phone. So I got him a new phone, and he was half grouchy because he was saying that, oh, you should have saved money. But then if you saw his face, he was so happy that I was replacing his phone. And it's really little things like that that I am glad to be able to do for him. It's not like he can't buy his own phone, but he would rather just keep saving it for like emergencies and stuff. And I kept telling him that it's fine if you want to save it, but also if there is a need to replace something, it wouldn't be so bad because we're kind of the same in the sense that we don't have to have the latest technology that is released or anything. But he's been using the iPad Mini 1 or 2, and I got him the iPad Mini 7, which is, if you're familiar with how the iPad Mini generations were released, it's really old and it was slow. And he knew it was slow, but he only felt how slow it was when he started like playing with the iPad Mini 7, which is kind of fun to see, honestly. And I know it makes me happy that he's happy. So that's that. This is my niece, and we didn't tell her. This is her sister. We didn't tell her that we were gonna take a. We didn't tell her that we were gonna kiss her right smack in the middle of the picture. So that's why her face is like that. She's not the most like expressive or affectionate among the nieces, but we like giving her a difficult time just because she lets us. She's yeah, and that's that. I haven't completely filled it out yet, but that's it. If you're wondering, yes, this is a Hobonichi pencil board that I cut to B6 size also. And at the back, this is also another Hobonichi like clear folder insert that again I just cut to B6 size. I have a guide here of what was inked in the pens and uh, just- I wanted to see how quickly the ink smudges for stamps. And if you're asking what I used here, I recently just got this Kukuyo stamp, and I love the size finally because most stamps are so big. Well, comparing it to my handwriting, everything is big, but I wanted something smaller and nicer, so that's why it looks so much better when I use it for the new year. Where is that? Yeah, here, and I like it. I really do like it, and no bleeding too. So very happy with this. And this is my. Oh, did I put stuff here? Hang on. I might have like a swatch. Oh no, I still have stuff at the back. Sorry. I I wrote this first before I decided to put it on my planner. So I have this in my journal, like where we ate, what I bought, reading, and I think that's it. But also, one of the things was that I wanted to see how ink would hold in this planner or in this journal. And this is what I commonly use in the pages, on the pages. So, no bleeding, and I like it. So, at least when people ask what inks I use, I already have a ready guide on what to answer. So, that's that's basically it for my everyday journaling memory keeper thing. And for the photos, uh, I use this. This is a Canon IV, dusty Canon IV, and yeah, I just cut it in half, and that's what I use. I do want to use the QX10 too, but I'll think about it on how I'm gonna do it. But anyway, so this is my memory keeping journal for 2025. This is the start of a maybe perpetual journal. So this is the RS planner, and I have realized that I see so much stuff online that I want to write, but it's not cohesive when I start writing in my journal. So I just have so many screenshots that it's all in my phone, and it's really sad because I would have liked or enjoyed seeing it often. At least read it again and not just left at a screenshot. So I thought of making this into, I don't even know what to call it, but like a piggy bank of nice things I saw online. It's also a great excuse for me to use my stickers, my washi tapes, stamps, and just for you to have an example or idea what I write here. Let me zoom in. I came across this word, sonder. It's a noun, and it's a profound realization that every person you encounter is living a life as vivid and as complex as your own. So there was a photo of like traffic flow, and you know that in cars people are sitting, people are driving, and it says there that someone had their first kiss, like the other car just won the lottery, the people in the other car accepted into their university, the other people in the car came from a breakup. So it shows you that life isn't just, you're not alone, and everyone goes through something at some point. Like those ideas, those things are the stuff that I want to be in here. And like, I'm not sure if it's like stuff that resonates to me, but it makes a lot of sense. Like this one says, you're not healing to be able to handle more trauma, pain, anxiety, and depression, but it's more on like you accepting happiness back in your life. So things like that, that I want to just keep it here in this journal, and it might not necessarily follow the dates on it, but now it's nice to look. I mean, I can already imagine what it would be like, filled with nice things like this. And it doesn't have to necessarily follow like a daily thing. But then if this gets completely filled out, and then I have a book of happy. Yeah, so I have a piggy bank of happy things. I could I also thought of like pre-decorating. I'm not really sure how this is going to work out, but I also thought of pre-decorating it. It would be such a nice idea to have something within reach that has all those little screenshots in my phone and written down. I get to use my stamps, my stickers, and all. And see, like this one, I really like this. It says, "What life removes will be replaced with something better." Oh, I mean, it's very vague, but it gives you piggyback happy. So that's what I hope this would this the purpose of this book. So anytime I can just look back at this and read. Also, my thing with ink swatches, I don't know, I'm crazy maybe, but I like that this also can hold ink really well, and it will likely be the inks that I'll be commonly using throughout the book anyway. So It's not a bad idea to have it here. And that is my Rs planner. I don't mind if this extends to 2026 or 27. I'm really glad that I got this because it had really one of the nice layouts, decorations, and I knew that I just made a special reason to have this with me. So, yeah. Lastly, this is the nothing planner and the weekly layout. And I would love for this to be a permanent perpetual journal because this is what I use for my inks. Now, I know that I've gone through a couple of older books, but I decided to finally just use this, and I was really excited because it holds inks really well. Now, I'm not yet completely done. So I have here a swatch of blues, I have purples, I have browns, I have pink. Oh, I think I'm supposed to put gray and blacks or something, but definitely the last would be greens because I know it will be more than all of the squares here combined. But yeah, and then I'm gonna have an area here. Again, I it doesn't necessarily have to follow the days anymore, but can you imagine like everything here on top are like the swashes of ink and then a writing sample, and then it's just going to be really fixed or organized. And I would really love to have something like that. And can you imagine bringing this to a pen show where people would just want to see how things are written or how inks look like when they're written out? But yeah, I will be labeling them too because, yeah, I need names, but they are written in pencil for now. And I would love to share this with you when things are a little more substantial and not just like half done. But mostly, I wanted to get this Techo Kaigi out as soon as I could, at least the first week of January. But there, there's nothing much to say here yet because I haven't really written much. But by the way, these cards are from the Rs planner, which I was telling you that was really nice. That's why I had to have it. But there, these are the books that I want to use for 2025. That's Techukagi 2025 for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I felt like it was such a mouthful, but I hope I was able to share like planner ideas more. And I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate when you like motivate me to create more. I know I'm not the most eloquent or best, speaker out there, but I'm learning and I'm still trying to get used to talking like on videos and stuff. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great 2025. May it be, kind and gentle for everybody. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.